Okay, so looking at practice problems, I'm going to go to page 328, and I'm going to start with number 15. So I always write, there's nothing different in this whole chapter. I start with what I know. So what's the only thing that it gives me for 15? 3.57 moles of what? Aluminum. And the question is asking me to find what?
Mass in grams.
Mass in grams. Okay? Whenever I see grams, that's the only time you have to use the periodic table. So, same as everything else. I don't want my answer in moles, so I'm going to put that where? I want it on the bottom so that it cancels. And here again, for this chapter, it's pretty much always 1 mole. In 1 mole of aluminum, can I find out how many grams there are? Yeah. So looking at your periodic table, boys, since you guys are so quiet, how many grams in aluminum? How many? 27. Okay, there's 27 grams. That's what I'm looking for. Everything else is canceled, so I'm done setting it up. All I have to do is what? My number's on the top, so what do I do with these two numbers? Multiply. So everybody grab your calculators. 3.57 times 27, tell me exactly what you get.
96.39.
96.39. I look at my significant digits, so my answer is going to be 96.3 or 4? 4. I'm going to round that to a 4. So 96.4 grams of aluminum. So look at my significant digits. Grams is what it's labeled. That's what I was looking for. I have 96. There's 96.4 grams of aluminum in 3.7 moles of aluminum. So now I want to skip and go to page 329. So 329, the first question is number 17. What does it give me? What am I starting with? 25.5 grams of what? Silver. And it's asking me to find moles. So this time, I want to get rid of what? Grams. So grams is going to go on the bottom, and mole is going to go on the top. In 1 mole of silver, there's how many grams? Off your periodic table. 108. So my conversion factor this time is 1 mole over. My grams is on the bottom this time, so it'll cancel. So this time I'm going to take 25.5 and do what? Divide, because it's on the bottom. So 25.5 divided by 108, give me what your calculator gives you.
0.236111, and that just keeps going.
All right, 0.236111 something. So I need 3 significant digits, so 0.236 or 7, 6, so 0.236 moles of silver. So no matter what, I don't care what my practice problem is, write down what you start with. What am I looking for? Figure out your conversion factor in the middle. Does moles go on top or does moles go on bottom? So far this chapter, it's always going to be 1 mole in my conversion factor. And then I can switch it to grams. Whenever I'm using grams, I have to use the periodic table. If, let's say, I have let's make this a little bit more difficult. And there's not one like this in your book yet. But let's say I have 31 grams of carbon. And I want to know how many atoms of carbon. What's going to go on the bottom? What do I need to get rid of? Grams. What can I change grams to? Moles. So in 1 mole of carbon, how many grams are there? 12 grams. I have to look at my periodic table. So now if I took 31 divided by 12, that would tell me what?
2.5833.
And that would be, my answer would be labeled in moles. I want atoms. So I'm not done yet. So now what am I going to do with moles? I'm going to put that on the bottom so that it cancels. In 1 mole of anything, how many atoms are there?
6.02 times 10 to the 23rd.
Okay, and that is atoms. And that's what I'm looking for. Everything else is canceled, so I know I have it set up correctly. I would take 31 divided by 12 times 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. And I have, whenever you have atoms, you should get something with an exponent.
1.555166 to the 7 times 10 to the 24.
Okay, so in that case, I have 2 significant digits, so my answer should have 2 significant digits, and I would have atoms. Couple of helpful hints. If you're looking for atoms, you're going to have an exponent. If I'm looking for grams, you have to use your periodic table. And really, your particles, ions, atoms, molecules are the only ones that should have a large exponent. I mean, you might get like 2 times 10 to the -4th, but not 20-something unless it's asking for particles.